Here's how India and Israel doubled down on their bromance. Today, India and Israel are inseparable, but that wasn't always the case. India didn't even establish formal diplomatic relations with Israel until the 1990s. And normalizing relations was initially just a byproduct of the true goal, accessing US markets.
If you want to be close to the US, you have to go through Israel. You have to change your policy towards Israel.
That's because by the 1970s, the US had identified Israel as a strategic ally during the Cold War. By the end of that decade, the US was championing Israel and allocating its largest aid packages to it.
I will be blunt. If Israel is ever forced to walk out of the UN, the United States and Israel will walk out together.
So India established official ties to Israel in 1992. And over time, the countries warmed up to each other, especially with the help of these two. Narendra Modi was the first Indian prime minister to ever visit Israel when he met with Benjamin Netanyahu in 2017. Since that visit, the relationship has deepened. India is the biggest purchaser of Israeli weapons, spending around $2.9 billion over the last decade on military hardware and defense tech. And war didn't change that special relationship. Israeli attacks on Gaza have killed over 75,000 Palestinians, and experts say the true death toll is likely much higher. Through it all, Modi has supported Israel, and according to an Al Jazeera investigation, Indian companies even supplied weapons to Israel in 2024 during the war on Gaza.
What Modi's response and the mainstream media's response had essentially accomplished, it was to tie October 7th to the Indian national interest. The narrative was that this war that Israel is now facing is actually our war too. There were huge consequences, therefore, for pro-Palestine advocacy in India, because what you had now was that if you speak out for Palestinian rights, you were immediately labeled as pro-Hamas, or you're immediately labeled as anti-India.
Following October 2023, Israel revoked work permits for tens of thousands of Palestinians from Israeli jobs like construction work. To offset this loss,
the Israeli government was looking for alternate sources of workers, and India was one of the key countries that they wanted to bring people from.
This isn't the only deal in the works. Indian and Israeli companies are also co-producing weapons technology together. This is in part to satisfy Modi's Make in India initiative, which seeks to involve Indian manufacturers across different industries.
When you think about Israeli arms, you're not thinking about a weapon that points and shoots. You're thinking about a methodology of governing people. This is about exporting Israeli methods through India and thinking of India as kind of like a mass producer of Israeli weapons.